Hey everybody, it's Bruno from AndB. Make sure to subscribe to the Megapix Media channel and you'll never miss anything. Enjoy the episode.
That's right. What's up, you sucker? What you looking at?
You were saying 20%. Why is that a magical number?
Yeah, well, 20% is basically legislated by the government that if you don't have the 20% down payment, then what you have to do is get something called the CMHC.
Which CMHC is Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation.
Yeah, so they're administering that. So if you don't have that 20%, then you got to get an insurance, and they basically tack on that on top of your mortgage. So depending.
See, we're a town, we pay cash anyway.
That's
so.
right. So we never had to experience that.
Yeah, it's too many letters.
If you don't have cash, then you don't buy. I mean, it's that simple.
You show up with the cash.
With the
That's
cash,
right.
yeah.
With the boliche.
You know, so if ever you see one of us show up to an open house with a little bit of a, no, in our pocket, we wouldn't leave it in a suitcase. In our pocket, and one side's a little bit bigger than the other.
Yeah.
You know it's a cash deal.
It's going to be cash. How much?
Sold,
Cash.
not open house.
Yeah, yeah.
No open house,
That's
we're
right.
showing. But in all seriousness, you know, if somebody comes in with a 5% down payment, what are some of the red flags?
Yeah, Bruno. I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily red flags, and to try and get somebody into the market. I mean, if that's all they have, basically, you know, it's good to get into the market, and they may be overextending themselves if they only have the 5%, and if you know if it's a younger person, it's not as much of a concern, I find. But if it's somebody that's in their 40s and they only have 5%. Then that could be a red flag that over the history of their life they haven't been able to you know save more than 5% as a down payment. It could be a concern, and it's difficult, right? Because there's that pride of ownership thing that comes into play, right? And if somebody's set on buying that property and wants it, and even though you feel that they're overextending themselves, it's a very delicate area to offend somebody that way, right? So. If somebody wants to buy it, Bruno, you know what? We'll certainly explain to them what his costs are, but to try and persuade somebody not to buy it, I really don't get involved in that. I you know, if they want to do it, and you know, basically our job is to find him what he needs, and if we do, then we usually try and facilitate that transaction for sure.
You know, like on our show, anything goes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matthew's getting a little nervous. He didn't grow up the same way we did. But here's something. I mean, this is probably more for you, Frank. So if somebody really wants to buy it, and you kind of go, oh my gosh, you know, it's pretty tough. But you don't. Hey, if they want to buy it, they buy it. How difficult is it for you to see maybe the second, third generations of purchasing a house when they're overextended, but you know their parents, and you know the parents personally, and the trials and tribulations they've gone through, and you know they're going to bail them out. What would you now on this program? What would you tell those parents and grandparents?
I'll tell you what I've
Can
told.
you answer this question without going to jail again? Jail. Sorry, not again. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, Bruno, they have that security blanket, right? And they have that security net. The kids today, and just like yours and mine, and so it was different, and it is different, because I mean, we're a country of immigrants in this country. Sorry, we're a people of immigrants in this country, and you know what? We've come to a point where I think we all want better for our children. So you're right. I mean, they have that sense of security that if something does go astray and I can't meet that obligation, then I have my parents to back me up, where we didn't have that in when we first started out. So to the parents that actually, I don't think they're doing their children any favors in terms of giving them that false hope and that you know, kind of you know what, I'm going to give you $100,000 to buy that house. Well, I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I think you want to help your child, but I think you want to put him on the road where he's productive and doing it more on his own.
So Matthew, you joined the family business,
Yes.
right? What are some of the things that you do expect from your dad as being, you know, the owner of this company?
Sure. I mean, I don't feel I expect anything outside of the typical business relationship. Advice, guidance. But at the same time, if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm
I'll let them know.
I'll heal.
You sent my email?
Yeah. No.
My
It's not
office,
email. It's like
it's pretty close. My office is pretty close to his, so it's more of a knock on the door.
Or it's a holler.
It's more
The new paging system.
Yeah. The old paging system.
Yeah.
No, but I know how lucky I've been. Obviously it's a different relationship, when it's a family business or when it's your father who's your boss. I'm able, it's a special relationship that I'm able maybe to ask a few questions that maybe any other typical employee around here maybe is not able to ask.
Here's another question, Matthew, because you basically, you're going into a family business, but you grew up in this business.
Yeah, I can remember as far back as running around. So Fitzsimmons' office used to be downtown on Daly Avenue, and I can remember running up and down those stairs and being even with the Fitzsimmons family, growing up with the Fitzsimmons family, having them around. Even going on. That's funny. So he would pick us up from school, and he would say, "Okay, we're not going home right now. We have to go on a showing. You're gonna stay in the car, but I have to go on a showing." Or I gotta show this house, and okay, I can't leave you in the car here, so you're gonna come in the house. You just be quiet. But so I can remember many times having to go on showings with him or go to meetings, and so I definitely grew up in and around it for sure.
The reason why I asked the question is, what do you tell young realtor wannabes? And I don't mean that in a bad way, like just people that are considering a career in real estate. You're second generation, like you said, you grew up following your father. Probably, I know you played a lot of baseball. You played hockey too.
Yes.
But your dad. I mean, how many times was your dad not there on Saturday and or evenings or something like that? So you kind of knew what you were getting yourself into.
Sure.
From a profession and requirement. What do you tell people that maybe their parents were in the federal government or working a 9-to-5 job-ish, and they kind of go, yeah, I can do what you do?
Yeah, so I think people have a bit of a misguided view of real estate. They feel it's kind of make your own schedule or this or that, and then when so I'm still playing hockey or I'm still playing men's league or baseball and this and that, and a lot of times, I can't make the games because, it's Sunday night at 6 o'clock and a client wants to see a house. I have to go work. Mm-hmm. Where other guys are like, they're 9 to 5. They're 9 to 5 and they have their weekends off. Whereas what their off time is usually when I'm working, right? Because people want to see houses on the weekends and then after work. They're at work, they can't see houses. So, it's usually from 5 to 9 or any time on the weekends, or I'm at an open house on Sundays.
Sure.
It's kind of like a reversal of the typical workday. So I would say, it's not exactly what you see on TV and what your typical idea of a real estate job is. It could be long hours, it could be late nights, putting a deal together at 11 p.m. on a Friday night because they're taking offers the next morning and you got to get your offer in, and if it's not in, well, your client's not going to get that house. So you have to be prepared to.
You have to be flexible.
You have to be very flexible, and even with a family, it could be very difficult. But if you want to make it in the business, you're going to have to be flexible.
Yeah, I think Matthew's right. I mean, you really your schedule is not your own, and your clients dictate your schedule. There's no question. I mean, if you have their house listed, your obligation is to sell that house, and if you get an offer and you're on your way to a party, hey,
or on vacation,
I've done
Oval Office
from Florida for sure. I mean, you have to do it, and that's part of the service that you're providing to that client to be certainly available at their disposal, and we're good with that.
Well, you know what? That's pretty much all the time we have for this episode today. Thank you for tuning in with us, and you know what? Make sure you subscribe to our Megapix Media channel so you will never miss an episode. And also you can follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram. We have content almost every day. So thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you guys soon.